Welcome to another Witchdoctors DIY garage where we show you how to do it yourself so you can save money. Today we're going to show you something, the start of a whole project, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to remove the inner fairing on a Victory Cross Country. That way, if you have to get this off, we do a lot of painting of these. If you guys want to paint them yourself, send them to us. We'll show you how to take this off. It's not hard. There's a lot of screws that are kind of hard to get to, and there's some screws that are hidden that are hard to see. So the first, you have two screws up under here, up under the speedometer. There's some screws behind the speaker covers. They're all down around the outer edge, and you also have two behind the radio here. This is where people always forget and they don't know these, and they're really hard to see. So the first thing you're going to want to do is we pop out the speaker grills. And I just hook a little screwdriver in there. It's real easy, and just pop that right out. You won't scratch anything. It'll just pop right out. So I do both of those. Just pull on it and they just pop right out. You can see the screws that are hidden inside there. So you want to take those out. What they are is a 4mm Allen wrench. So you can use a T-wrench. You have long sockets. You can use an Allen wrench yourself, or you can use a socket on a Allen socket on a ratchet. So there's all different ways you can do this. Some of these bolts are a little harder to do. So you might need a combination of all those to get to them. But you just want to take these out. Nothing will fall apart. They'll just come right out. The other thing you're going to do is you want to pop these rings off around here. And all they do is just grab them and pull them right off. They just snap in with these clips here. They just snap right in. So if you wanted to put them back in, just line them up and push them on, and they'll go right on. Now the next ones are these ones around the outer edge here. And if you can see, I'll try to get a light here. If you can see, I put some blue tape on here to protect the fork. Back in here, there's a couple of them. Those are kind of hard to get to. They're a real pain in the ass, actually. But they're hard to get to. So I put some tape on there so you don't scratch up your fork trying to reach in there. I'll try to get this light so you can see it. That's where this long T-handle comes in handy. Okay, those just came out. Keep in mind, they're much easier to get out than they are to put back in. And you'll see that when you go to put them back in. Just take the rest of these out around the outer edge. And for you guys that have a bright color, a boardwalk blue or a sunset red, we also offer chrome screws for these. Makes a big difference if you're dressing it up and you want some chrome. We have those on the website, so you can really dress it up pretty cool. Okay, so that's it there. We'll go and do the other side. Now, one thing I can show you here is if you've ever seen an Allen wrench that has that ball on the end, See how one's straight and one has a ball? What that ball is, it's called a wobble. So when you put it into the screw, it wobbles around and you get a little different angle. So sometimes something like that, try to show you, it may help you get in there and it'll unscrew a little bit easier. And see what it does? It gives you that little bit of an angle there where it still keeps in the bolt, where the other wrench, if you were to try to angle it, it really doesn't. It doesn't move. It'll pop right out. So that's called a wobble. That's why, for you guys that didn't know, that's why that's on there, because you can move it all around. Okay. Okay, so most times is where we get the questions is, I got all the screws out and it won't come out. Well, you still have the two behind here. And they're really hard to see. I'll try to get with the light. But right here is where that screw is. Right there. So there's two of them. Now, I will say I cheated a little bit and I already have those screws a little bit loose, because those take a lot of turning a little bit at a time. So you can only really turn them just a hair at a time. So I do already have them a little bit loose, or would be here all day with the camera. And there really isn't an easy way to do these. You only get like a quarter turn at a time on them. There you go. So it's just kind of a little bit smaller one, but that's what's in there. It's the same on the other side. Okay, so that should basically be all the screws. You want to just double check and make sure you got them all out. But that's basically it. Now you just kind of jiggle it a little bit. And the one thing I forgot to tell you is when you take this out, you want to disconnect, make sure when you're pulling this out, you disconnect the wires on the back of the socket. So we'll come right back and show you how to do that. Okay, so you're just going to want to pull even pressure on the whole thing. You know, pull a little here, and get it to come out. Don't just grab one side and keep pulling. Keep pulling it even. So when you just get your fingers under a little bit, you can pull it. And then right here, and I'll show you when we have it off, but right here there's two big pins, like pegs, that go back in and snap in some rubber. So you got to kind of pull those out. Now the other thing is, be real careful you don't scratch up your handlebars. So we got the top here kind of loose. Now you want to just go down on the bottom and get it to kind of pop out from the fairing. And again, I'll show you when we have it off, but it's there's kind of little pegs on it, and they stick sometimes. There we go. So you just kind of work it all the way down, and then just kind of pull it out a little bit. And now you can get behind here through the speaker hole and through the dash. You can get behind here, and I'll show you. I'll get my light. And I'll show you the back here, if I can get my hand in it, right here, there's your wires for your cigarette lighter. You want to unhook those. And this up here, if you can see it, it's right here, that's the peg I was talking to you that I was saying was stuck in there. That's what you have to kind of pull that out. So we'll disconnect the wires. They just pull right off. Okay, just pull them right off. And then just kind of finagle this out. There you go. And that's all there is to taking that dash out. Now the back, like I said, here's the peg that I was saying goes into the rubber. The other little pegs, you have a couple of these little ones here. That's what it kind of snaps in, and they're more for alignment. Lines this fairing to the outer fairing. So that you have two of those big pegs, and you have these other ones. So you kind of got to work everything together to get it off. But that's basically how you take the inner part off. What we'll do next is we'll show you how to go and take the upper part off. So what we do, and we offer the painted one, we offer this as painting this, the speaker grills, and then also this upper part. So we'll show you how to do that. You got to take the windshield off. And on this particular bike, they have some spikes. So we can just unscrew these, depending on what you got. If you got a stock bike, you have Allen bolts there. So you're just going to take that off and then pull the windshield out. Now this piece right here pops off. So you can do it with a screwdriver if you're real careful. I actually have a tool. It's for taking moldings off of cars, but it's a plastic like a stick. You want to just kind of pry that up a little bit, and you'll see when you get it under there, this is a little bit big, but it won't scratch. You just pop that off. It'll come right off, and you can see it just snaps in with those little snaps. You just kind of put it in and snap it in. Now the dash piece, this upper piece, it has the two screws in it that you have to take out. And they're the same screws as the fairing was, so same size. Okay, now that's basically all there is to that. But the problem you'll have is once you get it loose, you won't be able to get it out. You have to unbolt one of these windshield brackets. Doesn't matter which side, but it's a 10mm bolt. And you have to unbolt that. And that bracket will come off, and then you can kind of get that thing out. See how that'll just come out? Now you can pull that right out, and this is the upper piece. So that's what you get in a painted fairing set. You get this piece, you get the dash, and then you get the upper cover and the two speaker grills. So that's all there is to taking the dash apart on a Victory cross country.